Hey everybody, my name is Ryan Mercer. I'm on staff with InterVarsity in Louisiana. Today we are going to be talking about ethnicity. So first of all, let's take a look at Psalm 139 verses 13 to 14. For you created my inmost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. This psalm can apply to a lot of different ways about how God has made us, our personality, our preferences, our bodies, all of these things. But one way that we can really dial in on that God has created us intentionally for is our ethnicity and our culture, where we were born, the family we were born into, the language we spoke growing up, the kinds of foods we ate, the way we see the world. All of these things are super important, and they're part of the beauty that God has put in each of us and in each of our stories. So that's what we're going to focus on today. And so I'll just start by saying that everybody has an ethnic background. We live in a society that at the same time prizes colorblindness, but also diversity. And so those two things are kind of at odds. If you have diversity, but you claim that you don't see color, you don't see culture, then we have a bit of a problem. And usually what you just get in response is multicolored attendance. So that doesn't feel great. That doesn't really help much. And as we look into our world, if we take honest stock of our society and what's going on right now, we can see that we do not live in a post-racial society. So this colorblindness, just shooting for diversity, multi-ethnic attendance in the room is not going to get us where we need to go. So what does God have to say about this? What does the gospel have to do with this? So unless we see each other's stories, unless we see where each of us comes from, unless we understand our own story, we're not actually going to be able to build Christ-centered, reconciled relationships. Instead of colorblindness, the way we like to talk about it in InterVarsity is that we become ethnicity aware. We become aware of our own ethnicities, and we become aware and celebrate the ethnicities of others. So what is ethnicity? It's a few different things. It's made up of our cultural heritage. It's made up of our racial background, the language that we spoke growing up, our first languages, and our family histories. And so inviting Jesus into this part of our stories is super important. We can see that there's a lot of beauty and goodness in the ethnicities and the culture that God has given us. But we also see that there's brokenness in the stories, in the families that we come from. And so we have to delve into those things. And it's when we invite Jesus into those places in our lives, those parts of our stories, that real transformation and healing can happen. If we really want to see actual reconciliation, justice, restoration, and cross-cultural relationships, we need to be able to delve into those parts of our stories. So I'm going to start by sharing my ethnicity. So I am a white Midwestern American with English and French ancestry. Each aspect of my identity has shaped my life in really significant ways. If I were to step into another culture, say I go to another country or go to a part of town where I am no longer in the majority, I quickly notice that I have a very particular culture that's different from the place that I am. So today, for this module, we're going to be asking you, what is your ethnicity? What's your ethnic story? So maybe you identify as African American, maybe Vietnamese American, maybe you're Latino, maybe you identify as South Asian. You might consider yourself to be biracial or bicultural, or maybe you really strongly identify with a particular regional culture in the US, where you grew up, where you live now. Or maybe you're just not sure yet, and that's okay. That's what this module is going to help you do. We're going to give you some tools to be able to think through the story, your story, and the beauty that God has put in your culture. So you're going to see some examples. You're going to get to work through those different things in your own story. You're going to get to start to see that beauty, that intentionality that God has put in how He made you and how He made your people and your culture. So after this module is done, if you would like to continue learning about your ethnicity, there's a lot of great resources out there. So we would recommend the book Beyond Colorblind, written by InterVarsity staff Sarah Shin. This is a super helpful resource. We give it to students all the time. And this will help you think about the beauty, the brokenness, the redemption, and the restoration of your ethnic story. And what does it look like to seek true reconciliation? So for that, you can go to beyondcolorblind.com. You can find the book, you can find companion videos, resources to help you grow. And we are excited to help you in your ethnic journey. We encourage you to set up a coaching call if you'd like to talk with the staff and just process. There's so much when it comes to thinking about our ethnic stories. And so if you need help kind of thinking through that, what does that even mean? What does that look like? Help me process that. We would love to help you.